My name is Emma. I am 25 years old. I come from Italy and live in a small town with my parents. Our town is peaceful and beautiful, with narrow streets, old houses, and friendly people. I like my town, but I want to see the world and have new experiences. I dream of studying in New York City. In my town, I study English at a small school. My teacher often tells me, "Emma, you are very good at English. You should study in another country." Her words make me happy. I start thinking more about New York. A big city with lots of opportunities. One day, a woman comes to our town. She is from a big city in Italy, and she looks confident. She talks about a school in New York. She says, "This school is amazing. You will learn English quickly. Many students go there, and they all love it." She shows me pictures of the school and the happy students. She tells me, "You can study here too. I can help you." I feel so excited. This is my chance to go to New York. The woman gives me some papers and says, "Fill out these forms and give me the money for the school. I will take care of everything." I trust her. She seems very nice and professional. I don't think about the risk. When I tell my parents about the school, they are worried. My father says, "New York is dangerous. You don't know anyone there." My mother asks, "Are you sure about this woman? Do you trust her? Be careful, Emma." I listen to them, but I don't change my mind. I say, "This is my dream. I want to study English and learn new things." My father looks worried and says, "Dreams are good, but you need to think carefully. What if something goes wrong?" I smile and say, "Nothing will go wrong, Dad. I will be careful." For days, I think about New York. I look at pictures of the city on my phone. The tall buildings, the yellow taxis, the bright lights. Everything looks so exciting. I tell my best friend, Lucy, about my plan. She says, "That sounds amazing. Emma, I want to go with you. Let's go together." I feel so happy. Lucy is my best friend, and I know she will support me. We start making plans. I dream about the future and feel ready to take the first step toward my new life. My parents are still worried, but I tell them, "This is my chance. I will be safe. I promise." I don't know what will happen, but I feel brave. I am ready for my adventure. New York. Here I come. The day after I decide to go to New York, I make a list of everything I need. I write down clothes, books, and personal things. I also add important papers, like my passport, and the forms the woman gave me about the school. I feel excited but a little nervous. I want to be ready for this big adventure. I talk to Lucy about our plan. She says, "Emma, we need to book our tickets soon." I agree. We look for flights online and find one that is affordable. It will leave in 2 weeks. 2 weeks is not long. At home, I start packing my bag. My mother helps me. She says, "Take warm clothes. New York can be very cold." She also gives me some snacks for the trip. "You might get hungry on the plane," she says. My father watches me pack. He looks worried, but he doesn't say much. Lucy and I meet every day to prepare. She is as excited as I am. She brings her camera and says, "I want to take so many pictures. We will remember this trip forever." We also talk about what we will do in New York. Lucy says, "We should visit Times Square." And I add, "And the Statue of Liberty." We laugh and dream about all the fun we will have. A few days before the flight, my father gives me some money. He says, "Emma, keep this safe. Use it only if you really need it." I thank him and promise to be careful. My mother gives me a small notebook. "Write about your trip," she says. "I want to read your stories when you come back." Finally, the day of the flight arrives. Lucy and I wake up early. My parents take us to the airport. The drive is quiet. My mother looks at me with tears in her eyes. She says, "Emma, please call us when you land." I hug her and say, "I will, Mom. Don't worry." At the airport, everything feels big and new. Lucy and I check our bags and get our tickets. We go through security and find our gate. My heart is beating fast. I look at Lucy and say, "We are really doing this. We are going to New York." She smiles and says, "Yes, we are." When it's time to board the plane, I feel a mix of emotions. I am excited, nervous, and a little scared. I wave goodbye to my parents one last time. Then Lucy and I walk onto the plane. As I sit down and fasten my seatbelt, I think about everything ahead. This is the beginning of my dream. I feel ready. Lucy and I sit next to each other on the plane. It's my first time flying, and everything feels new. I look out the window and see the airport getting smaller and smaller. The plane lifts off the ground, and I feel excited and nervous. We are really going to New York, I say to Lucy. She smiles and says, "Yes, Emma, this is the start of our adventure." The flight attendants bring drinks and snacks. I take a small sandwich and some juice. The food is not bad, Lucy says, laughing. We watch a movie on the small screen in front of us. It's an American movie with English subtitles. I try to follow along and read the subtitles. This is good practice, I tell Lucy. She agrees. After the movie, I look around the plane. People are reading, sleeping, or talking quietly. The sound of the engines is loud but steady. I feel calm. I take out my notebook and write a few lines. We are flying high above the clouds. The world looks so small from here. I can't believe I am going to New York. Lucy and I talk about our plans. What do you want to do first when we arrive? Lucy asks. I think for a moment. I want to see Times Square. I want to feel the energy of the city, I say. Lucy says, and I want to eat a New York pizza. I heard it's the best. We laugh and continue dreaming about our trip. As the hours pass, I start to feel tired. The flight is long, and the excitement is turning into exhaustion. I close my eyes and try to sleep. The seat is not very comfortable, but I manage to rest for a while. When I wake up, Lucy is looking out the window. "Emma, look," she says. "The lights of New York City." I lean over and look out the window. It is dark outside, but I can see the city lights shining brightly below. It looks magical. My heart beats faster. We're almost there, I whisper. We arrive in New York. The airport is big and busy. We take a taxi to the address the woman gave me. I feel excited. This is it, I say to Lucy. We will see the school soon. But when we arrive, the building looks old and empty. This can't be happening, I whisper. We stand outside the building for a long time. Finally, I realize the truth. This is a scam. The school isn't real. My money is gone. They took everything. I cry. We find a small cafe and sit down. I feel lost. The waiter asks, "Is everything okay?" I tell him what happened. And he says, "I'm sorry. This happens sometimes to tourists. Be careful in this city." He gives us free coffee and tells us about a cheap hotel nearby. We walk to the hotel. But the manager says, "We need payment first. No money, no room." That night, Lucy and I sleep in a small park. It's cold, and I can't stop crying. I think about my parents and how they warned me. Why didn't I listen? I whisper. The next morning, I call my father. I tell him everything. He says, "I will send you money. Stay safe." I feel a wave of relief. Lucy and I go to a bank to pick up the money. And we find a small hostel. It's not perfect, but it's better than the park. I start looking for a real school. I find a small one called Learn English Together. It's a warm, welcoming place. I feel hopeful. Every day, I go to class and practice speaking English. It's hard, but I learn something new every day. As time passes, my English gets better. I can talk to people in the city. And I even help someone with directions. I'm proud of myself. I still miss my parents. But I feel stronger now. New York is difficult, but I'm learning and growing.